Let's raid.
Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Alright, so apparently I switch out my fishing setups more than I do my underwear. No, that's just a joke. But anyways, I finally found a combination, a rod and reel combo that I am like outstandingly phenomenal with. And honestly, I'm like lost for words with this combo. Now, this isn't a matching combo, but this is something that I actually decided to pretty much put together and see how it would work. And I'm loving it. Now, a lot of you guys know I was a big Rhino rod, indestructible rod fan. And after I purchased this rod to go with my Mitchell 300, I'm just like blown away. So I'll get into details. This is the Daiwa Jupiter Rod. It's a 6x6. I don't know if you're going to be able to get in on this and see. Medium heavy action. The weight, it can hold up to 1/4 of an ounce to 1 ounce and 8 to 17 pound test. Of course, my zoom. I don't know why my zoom don't work on my phone anymore. It drives me nuts. But yeah, it's the Daiwa. Correct me if I'm saying that wrong. Jupiter. 66 IMHS. And I actually purchased this from Walmart on a special deal. They're originally going for approximately about $50. And I picked it up for $30, and I was like, all right, I'll take it. It was the last one on the shelf. And I actually got to do a lot of fishing with it, hooked up on a lot of good fish, lost a lot of good fish, but was able to do a lot of good fishing with it. And it's a tough rod. I held in some good bass, hooked onto some good stripers with some night fishing. So I'm loving it. Lightweight, very lightweight. You got 9 eyes. 9 eyes. I was trying to count. I didn't want to be stupid, but I was trying to count. You got 9 eyes. They're not the low profile. I actually had a loose combo, and I ended up getting rid of it just because of the rod. Lose is a good crate company, don't get me wrong, but the rod with the low profile eyes, I had a lot of issues when I ended up getting wind knots. So I decided to get me a new rod to go with my Mitchell 300 reel. The Mitchell 300 reel is by far the best reel on the market out of my beliefs. I've tried Shimano. I've tried many different brands, and nothing really compared to the Mitchell 300. These reels are like built like tanks. I mean, I've had buddies accidentally step on my reel when I had my pole down. And these things are like pretty much, I'm not going to say indestructible because we've already been through a case with the word indestructible with the Rhino rod. But this reel is phenomenally strong. And the warranty behind it is great. This is a new Mitchell 300 reel. I had another one. I actually got 3 total. But the one that I was using before this one, the drag bell went bad on it. Now, it's not a big issue. A lot of people take them out. But I wanted the drag bell. So I sent it back. And they sent me a new one. So I do have 3 Mitchell 300s total. And that's how much I love Mitchell 300s. With the rod and reel combo, I mean, this thing is literally light. very light. Casting is phenomenal. I'm getting wonderful distance. I'm using 30-pound braided line spider wire. And then I use a 25-pound floral leader line. You can see I do the Albright knot. And then I run a 25-pound floral when I'm running my crankbaits, swim baits. I use the Gary Yamagata clip. This is 80-pound test strength, so I don't have to continuously tie on my lures. I just clip them on. This is the no open clip. So I'll bring in some video clips when I first got the rod and reel combo and me just doing some casting out and stuff like that, giving it a shot, seeing if I actually liked it or not. And now I've decided to bring you guys a strong review on it, or just pretty much a basic review on it. And Daiwa, you know, they make very great rod and reel combos and stuff like that. But I can't get off the Mitchell 300 reel. And I wasn't able to find a Mitchell rod that's medium heavy or heavy action or extra heavy. I just couldn't find anything on the market that I actually liked. With the rod, I actually like this kind of rod instead of the full rod. This makes casting just so much lighter. And before I was using the Rhino indestructible rod, and it was a full set, pretty much just a full rod handle. And I'm noticing a lot of difference between weight. I'm not getting as tired from casting out swim baits, crankbaits, stuff like that. And it just makes fishing a lot more comfortable and a lot more happier. I was going to do the review in the garage, get a little bit of a better in-depth view of this combo that I put together, but it's about 117 degrees heat outside, so I'm assuming probably about 120, 125 in my garage. I was like, I'd rather stay inside with the AC. So let me know if you guys ever tried the Daiwa Jupiter Rod, and if you guys have any complaints about it. Also, let me know what you guys think if you ever tried the Mitchell 300 reel. If you haven't, get one. It's got the Halo bail, so when you hook up to big fish, you don't get all that flex. Very, very nice reel, you guys. I'm loving that reel, especially this rod now. I'm hooked. Speaking of a hook, there's a hook holder there. I'll take it off for you, and I'll show you. It goes up or down. So depending on how you like to hook up your baits. And so yeah, very awesome rod. Let me know what kind of setups you guys are using. Maybe I'll end up giving one of them a shot, do a review on them or whatnot. So I left the bait caster world, guys. I just couldn't figure it out and didn't really like it. I mean, I figured it out. I just didn't really like it. I switch out. The reason for it being, let me explain why I switched out from a crankbait. I mean, not crankbait. Oh my gosh. Bait caster. Now with a bait caster, when you change out your lures, you got to change out your settings. And the way I fish is, for instance, I'll throw out this Slamo boxer. And if it's not getting hit, then I'll switch out to a smaller crankbait. Maybe a sexy shad color. If that's not getting hit within maybe 5 or 6 casts, then I'll switch out to a worm. That's not getting hit, then I'll switch out to a spin bait. If that's not getting hit, then I'll change out to a chatterbait. And with the bait caster, every time you change your bait, you got to change your settings. Now, a lot of people say you don't, but you really do. Honestly, you do. Unless you're like high-tech professional and you know how to cast a bait caster without ever changing your settings, then you're pretty much got it locked down. Well, I don't, and I didn't. And that's where I kept getting my issues with backlashes, bird's nests. And to me, fishing's fishing. And what I like to do is get quick in action. I like to hit a spot super fast with different types of lures if there's no action going on, but I know there's fish in there. And that's one reason I use a clip. I don't have to tie. I just continuously switch out my lures, my swim baits and crankbaits, everything consistently really fast. And I'd like to throw as much as possible in one spot, switch out to something else, throw in that spot. A lot of the areas that I do fish, I know there's fish in it, and that's why I catch a lot of fish. I never really explore too much around my town unless I'm taking buddies with me that I don't want to know where my fishing holes are. But my fishing holes do produce a lot of fish, and so I like to switch out my lures if, you know, just try to figure out what the fish want to bite. And with the bait caster, I was just having too much of an issue with switching out lures and having to change my settings and get those consistent casts in there right away without having to wait. So a lot of people call it lazy fishing, but honestly it's not. To me, it's just consistent fishing. So the knots I use, this is the San Diego jam knot, as you can probably see. And then I use the Albright knot. Those are the only two knots that I ever use. San Diego jam knot and the Albright knot. I use the Albright knot to connect my braid to my floral or mono, either or. And then I use my San Diego jam knot to tie up my my clip. So, well, I guess that's pretty much sets it for this review. I got some fishing footage that I'll be bringing you guys into. I actually got the honors, was able to have the honor to go out on a boat, and I'll be doing that a lot more lately. So we're catching on some bass and some baby stripers. I was having a pretty rough day that day with getting hookups. I kept getting hits, but couldn't get the hookups. So what I ended up doing too was changing out my hooks. I guess those hooks were that were on this during that fishing trip weren't the best. They were all hit up on from hitting rocks and stuff, so they were all worn out. And I'm assuming that's why I wasn't getting so much hookup ratio. So I changed out my hooks now. These bad boys are sharp. So anyway, stay tuned for that video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what kind of combos you guys are using for fishing. Whether it be bait casting, spinning, or whatnot. Let me know what you guys are using. So, dying for this heat to go away. I want to get out and do some coyote hunting. I want to do some shooting. My gun's been sitting in my locker and haven't been used for quite some time. Pretty much just collecting dust. It's pretty sad. So I do got to get out and do some shooting footage for you guys. I know you guys are aching for some run and gun videos and stuff, but literally if I go out there and try that right now, I'd probably pass out because it's so hot. Arizona heat ain't no joke. So anyways, much love, respects. God bless you guys. Thank you for viewing, and I'm up and out. Peace. This rod carries a lot of action. You can feel if you're getting hit. You can feel the bottom. You can feel the rocks. And if for being a medium heavy, it's really nice. I mean, very lightweight for a medium heavy.